Okay, hello again. So now we're gonna run the program. So let's compile it first. C language. I'm gonna give it a name of the output, which will be test one, and the file is called test1.c. And okay, so let's see what did I create. And I have test C, which is this file here, and then there is this guy here, which is my program executable. Okay, so let's execute it. Dot slash test one, enter, and here is this first bit here. Yeah, so this is our default values of our integers. That's that line, and we check 0 is the value of that integer that we didn't give any value to. So it goes automatically to 0 for some reason. So I wouldn't trust it. I would never use it. Be very careful when you declare a variable. Make sure you initialize it with something. There is some value that goes in there, because if you then use it somewhere in your formula, in your algorithm, you might really regret it. Okay. So then we look at the integer variable, floating point variable, and as you can see, if we just use %f, it's going to give automatically 6 digits after a decimal point. And then we're looking at our character, which is a, which we did assign as a, so it all works fine. And then, as you can see here, we are able to print those quotation marks, as you can see here, but you have to use those escape symbols. Backslash is our escape symbol. Okay, let's go. So we're changing stuff now. We're gonna input something, and let's input, and we're gonna stick to the integers in this case, because I don't want to crash my code. If I wrote something like this, some characters, it will crash. So I want to add, I want to put in 20 in here, and then floating point. So we're gonna add to our floating point variable, let's say 5, and I don't have to specify that it's a float. It's gonna know that it's a float even if I write this. And then you can see the prompt for character appeared. If I didn't put that space in here, it wouldn't. It would just take some value and go on and move on. So we don't want to do that. And we're gonna change it to, let's say, C. Um, and boom, a lot happened. Let's move to the point where okay, so this is where we finished. Well, where we are at now. Okay, so this is our changed um, elements here. So this is our 20 as I put in. As you could see, I was filling in, and our integers. What happened there? Yeah, sorry. So I'm here. Okay, this is where we are. So we have our 20, then I added 5, and so we have 15.50. And you can see it's only 2 digits because I used this formatting in here. Percent 0.2f. Okay, so it says 0 point, and how many digits do you want to have after the the decimal point? Okay, so that's how you do it, and then we have your A being changed to C. Yeah, it was A before, now it's C, so it worked. Okay, now we go to the next line here, and so that's for our conditional statements. So in here, integer variable is divisible by 2 because it's 20. So it checked, and it was 0, so it went to that line. Okay. Now we have floating point variable is greater than 10. Let me see. Yeah, it's 15 because it went to this piece of code here, this line of code here, and it printed this. Then it stayed in the same line. I didn't put in the \n, and it checked this. It was greater than 10, so it printed that guy. It didn't print this, as you can see here. Okay, character variable is not a. What is this? That guy here. Character variable is no \n, and then check if that's true. If it's true, then print this. If it's not true, if it's false, then print this. And as you can see, it wrote not a because it's C. But it goes then to this switch statement, and it's going through A, B, C, and it found C, and it said, yeah, it is C, so it printed me this bit here. So first character variable is C, and as you can see here, it worked. Printing digits, okay, so that's our for loop, so we're printing digits 0 through 9. Here is our for loop that does it in here. So basically I'm just saying print the index that we are going through in the for loop, in that for loop here. Now nested for loops, they are for printing matrices, and as you can see here, you have 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, blah, blah. So we printed this tidy matrix using a very simple nested loop. Okay, so it's a loop in a loop. We just used I and j to use those values from here, from the loop. While loop, so we are here, and oh yeah, so this is the second last line here. So using while loop, I did exactly the same job as with the for loop before. So I'm just printing 0, 1, 2, 3 through 9. So now we're looking at the do while loop. So it's asking me add enter a number 10 to move on, otherwise I'll stay in a loop. So if I write 1, it stayed in a loop, 2 stayed in a loop, 3 stays in a loop, something bigger stays in the loop, 10 exits the loop. Okay, so we kind of hit the code that it was looking for exit. Okay, now we're looking at those arrays. So first we declared an array, then we declared and assigned some values to that second array, and we have a third array, and now it's asking us to add some numbers in there. So we are going to add some numbers, some integers, and I'm going to go with those that I found before: 72, 101, 72, enter, 101, enter, 108, 108, enter, 108, enter, 111, enter. Why did I do that? You'll see in a second. Let's have a look at this in here. So these are my inputs. Now we are printing those arrays one by one. So let's go back to array 1, and as you can see here, it's it's um, it's just declared. It's not initialized. There's no numbers. We didn't assign any value to it. So what you can see here are some numbers, some values from that array, which basically are called garbage values, and they basically have no they're those dangerous values that are stored in the memory, because when the computer uses stack memory for functions, for different functions, it uses it, and then when it's freed, when the function is okay, I'm done, computer, you can use it for some other functions. It doesn't clean it. It just leaves some values that was in there. It's very untidy, but it's all for the performance. If you wanted to clean it every time, it would affect the performance. Okay, so we have garbage values in array 1, then we have array 2 that we assign with something. It's nearly like a string, but it's not. It is as I said before, an array is a string, or I didn't say that, but I'm going to say it now. An array of something is basically a pointer to the first element of it. Okay, so in here we have a pointer to an element m, the 0th element of this array. So if we had, and what do you know? What are we missing here to make it a string? Would have to have something like this, backslash 0, the null character. That makes it, and here we would have to put in 6, and that makes it a string. That's the difference between an array of characters and a string. Okay, let's go in here. So we have our Marek printed out, and then we have our elements in array 3 printed out neatly with the for loop 5 times, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, no, we're going here. Let's print them out. So we print them in here. You can see my message here that is printed in here, all garbage values, be careful. Now we're printing Marek, and in here, array 3, we're printing all those numbers that we put in. Yeah, so it's 72, 101, 108, 108, and 111. And now let's do something tricky in here, and let's print all those as integers. And can we do that? Let me save this because it's going to be annoying. Resize, okay. So let's try to print Marek in integers and 72 blah 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 in chars. And what happened? It came back with ASCII values for those characters. Okay. For Marek, this is Marek in ASCII numbers, and this is characters standing for those numbers. This number, this number, this number, and this number. This is hello, in other words. And if you look at this, this is how I found it. I looked for ASCII table, and I was just like, okay, so where is H? Capital H is 72. Now lower E is 101, then L is 108, and then O is 111. And that's how I found it. Okay, so that's it. That's it, yeah. And then we go to return 0. So our main function here is indeed returning our 0, and we're happy. Okay, so thanks for watching, and this is covering week 2, so basic C, and now we can move on to pointers. Our lovely, lovely pointers. Thanks for watching, and see you soon. Now stop. Now stop.